Welcome to Christine's Awesome Things. My name is Christine, and today I will be showing you how to do a lollipop tree. Now, the first thing you'll need to start your project is a flower pot. I recommend a clay flower pot because it's heavier and you don't want your project tipping over. Next thing you're going to need is a foam insert big enough to fit into your flower pot. When you get your foam the size that you want for your flower pot, you want to make sure that you glue the bottom of the foam and the sides so that when you insert it into your flower pot, it'll stick to the bottom and the sides of your flower pot. That way, if someone comes along and pull one of your lollipops out, it won't snatch the whole thing out of the flower pot. Next, you'll need a foam ball. This is a 7.6-inch foam ball. You'll also need, of course, a glue gun and a dowel. This dowel right here, I actually went ahead and decorated. I would recommend decorating your dowel as well, just for added effect. You can paint it green to make it look like a stem, or brown to make it look like a tree branch, whatever. It doesn't matter. You'll also need lollipops. These are dum-dums. I got the 300 bag, big bag. That way, anything left, I can use it for something else. Now, with your dowel, the first thing you want to do is you want to insert your dowel into your round foam. You want to get a good length in there so that it'll hold onto the dowel. So press it in there really good, not too hard because you don't want to break it. Then pull it out. Mark the hole where you inserted your dowel. That way, when you insert your lollipops, you won't cover up the hole. If it's white like this, it's kind of hard to see the hole. So I kind of marked it so I know exactly where not to put the lollipops. Next, you want to take your dowel and insert it directly in the middle of your foam, all the way to the bottom. Once you insert it into the foam and you have your center, you're going to take the dowel out. Then you're going to apply glue. One moment. Need to get some more glue sticks in here. You want to apply glue to your dowel. Make sure you apply it on the bottom and around your dowel, and insert it right into the hole that you made. Then, once it's in the hole, apply just a little glue around the hole. That way it's in there securely. Once you've done that, you're all ready to start. Again, foam to fit your flower pot, glued on the sides and in the bottom of the flower pot when you put your foam in, dowel in the center, and mark your foam with the dowel. Now we just set this aside and we start on our foam. You can apply wherever you want to. Wherever you want to start, it doesn't matter. I'm going to start with the red actually, and I marked so that I know exactly where I want it to start at. This is not necessary if you're just going to put them in random places, but I'm doing a swirl pattern. So this is where my sucker is going to be inserted. Now, you do want to use glue when inserting these suckers into the ball, because when you turn it to set it on your dowel, you don't want the suckers at the bottom to fall out. So I'm going to apply glue close to the paper part of my lollipop. And then I'm going to insert. And I'm going to push it all the way in. And then I'm going to decide where I want the next one, which will be here. Again, glue at the base where the paper is and insert. And then I'm going to continue until I've completely filled this ball up. Now, as you can see, this is not hard to do. It's just a matter of patience, and when you're doing this many suckers, yes, it does tend to be time consuming. And when by time consuming, I mean it might take you maybe an hour or two, depending on how fast you work. Now, when I have paper like this that sticks up, I want it to be neat. So I just take my glue and kind of press the paper down with the glue. I want everything to look neat. And again, glue, just a dab, and insert. Alright, so right now I'm at the end of my ball. Now, one thing I want to mention is earlier that I told you that I had a 300 piece bag of Dum Dum lollipops. A ball this size, 7.6 inches. If you're going to do it this big, making sure that you don't have any gaps or anything, you're probably going to need a 300 piece lollipop in 2 smaller bags. Okay, because I ended up needing more because I'm filling this in completely with minimum gaps as possible on the ball. Now, if you notice, I'm around where I marked my hole at. So this is going to be my last few pieces going around here. And this is why I wanted to mark it so that I would know exactly where my hole was. See? Now, if I tried to add any more candy to it, if this is what'll happen. My hole is covered. Alright? So, next I am going to add glue to the top of this dowel and down the sides of it, because I need this to go in and seal. And now I'm going to place my ball right in the hole that I marked. And that glue is going to dry right in there. Alright? So this is not actually stable just yet. What's going to stabilize this more is when I start putting the suckers down at the bottom to give it balance. And you don't actually have to use glue for this when it's going into the bottom if you don't want to. And as you notice, this goes pretty fast. The sponge on this, the one I have, is softer than the one that I use to actually do the top piece. And I'm adding a few green in there just to give it a mimic grass. So I'm filling this in. And I'm using the chocolate ones for the bottom. Sort of like saying dirt and grass around your tree. So as you can see, this goes pretty fast. And another thing, if you wanted to, if you had green pieces of candy or anything that kind of not suckers but have tags or anything on them, you can actually put that in there to make it look like grass sticking up out of it. And if you notice, I'm not making these particular suckers in here all even like I did the ball. I'm just kind of going up and down because dirt and grass is not actually even. So that's kind of the look that I'm going for. And I'm almost done with this. And as you can see, this goes pretty fast. Now this entire project right here took me maybe a total of 2.5 hours. Depending on how fast you move, which this project is just basically putting some glue on a stick and sticking them into the ball. So it doesn't really take that long at all. And also, the size dowel that I'm using, you can actually use one that's thicker. They have them in different sizes. This happened to be one of the smaller ones. So this here is one of my projects. I have some more suckers, lollipops, that I'm going to add just around here to fill this in more. But this is what your lollipop tree will look like. And you can add more. You can add little candies to come out the sides or whatever. Add a bow around the flower pot. One more thing that I would recommend is that if you're using a used flower pot, be sure to clean it and bleach it. Please bleach it, because you have to remember that used flower pots have fertilizer in it. That's manure. So scrub, 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 rinse, bleach, let it dry, bleach again, let it dry, then start. Okay? I painted mine to give it the chocolate look, but once you're done and everything, this is basically how it looks. Alright? So if you like what you see here, click and subscribe, and I'll be showing you more of my projects. Have a great day.